Hare Krishna! My name is Sarva-drik Dasa. I'm here today with ISKCON Congregational Development Ministry to share with you some thoughts about Srila Prabhupada's dearmost book distribution and how it relates to developing our ISKCON congregations. All of these books are like seeds, and every gardener knows that if you want to grow a successful garden, you have to cultivate the field. You dig the dirt, you fertilize it, you aerate it, you make it nice so the plant can grow. You put the seed, but then you have to watch after the seed. You have to watch after the tiny plant to make it grow. So our book distribution is something like that. Each one of these transcendental literatures is the seed of Krishna Bhakti, and we can hope that it sprouts and produces the fruit of one pure devotee of Krishna. But to grow any seed requires little work. So in the same way, with our book distribution, if we just give someone the book and say goodbye, adios, see you later, we won't get the same result. We should try and keep track of those people we meet who appreciate our book, who show some interest in Krishna consciousness, who have a relevant question, who are friendly, receptive to our message. Get their name, get their email address, get their WhatsApp number, get some information about them, and follow up. Because this is very, very important. You may be the person that brings them to Krishna Bhakti. So think of these books, Srila Prabhupada's transcendental literatures, that he emphasized over and over again the importance of their distribution. Think of these books as seeds. You're planting seeds, but we should also harvest the fruit. And the fruit are wonderful devotees who leave aside all material considerations and add Krishna to their life. That doesn't mean they have to live in an ashram, shave their head, put a tilak, wear a shika, sari, kantimala, but at least we should find those people who are ready to chant Hare Krishna. Because why do we distribute books? Why do we build temples? Spend millions of dollars building temples. Millions of books have gone out. 255 million books have gone out. That's not cheap. It costs millions of dollars to produce these literatures, to build temples, to distribute prasadam. We do all of this to get people to come to the point of taking a mala, a japa mala, and chanting the holy names of Krishna. Spiritual life begins there. In English we say, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's our message. Read these books and take up the chanting of Hare Krishna. So our appeal to you from the congregational ministry is to keep track of those people, because they're special people. Someone who is attracted to Krishna and has an interest in Krishna Bhakti, who likes devotees, who shows an interest in our transcendental literatures, they're special people. Keep track of them and harvest the fruit. Don't miss out on this. Receiving one of Srila Prabhupada's transcendental literatures, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, a wealth of small literatures, even a BTG, especially sometimes BTG, Back to Godhead, can completely change the life of a devotee and bring them to Krishna consciousness. I used to do jail preaching, prison preaching in Virginia and North Carolina. I met two devotees, each of whom related to me their own experience of receiving a Back to Godhead magazine. One of them was ready to end his life. He was in jail, he made some stupid mistake, people do. But he was so depressed about being in jail and thinking there's nothing to look forward to, that he was ready to end his life. Then one day, a book cart came around. They come out with a library cart full of books, and someone just handed him two Back to Godhead magazines. He said, you might want to read these. He read them, his entire life changed from that day. He accepted Krishna Bhakti at that moment, reading from Bhakti Godhead. He read those magazines over and over and over, and those magazines in jails go through 20, 30 people's hands. They have profound effect on people's life. So one book, you never know, that book you distribute may be tomorrow's sannyasi and guru with thousands of disciples in the future. This is the potency of Srila Prabhupada's book distribution. Each one of these books has the power to completely change someone's life and bring them to Krishna Bhakti. Now, how does a person feel if he has that opportunity? He's giving a book to someone and he sees someone become a devotee by his effort. How does that make the devotee feel? Such transcendental ecstasy. To see someone leave aside all material considerations, material attachments, bad habits, and come to Krishna Bhakti. Because you went out, put on a book bag, and went out and met the people, met the public. So what kind of ecstasy does the book distributor feel? To represent Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, and ultimately Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such transcendental happiness is there. This is the whole principle of Krishna Bhakti, to share Krishna, to share the chanting of Krishna's name, and our most effective means to do that is through Nam Sankirtan and book distribution. Book distribution is very important. Again, when I went and visited one prison in Virginia, because there was one very fired up young man there, his name is Krishna Kirtan. When I first met these devotees at the prison, I walked into the room and there was incense burning. There were deities of Gaur Nitai. There was a deity of Srila Prabhupada. There are posters all over the wall. They had Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, practically a full library of Prabhupada's books. They had harmonium, kartal, and mridanga. But they never met a devotee. Because they never met a devotee who could explain the contents and significance of the books that they had, they didn't understand very much. So this is also very, very important, not just to give the book, here you go, thanks a lot, have a good day. But what's your name? Where are you from? Do you have an email address you'd like to share? Do you have a phone number you'd like to share? Let's be in touch. You're a great person. I'd like to be in touch with you. We should get names of people who are receptive to our message, because they need the association of devotee to understand the content of the books we're distributing. So this is a transcendental reciprocal relationship between the book distributor and the person who receives the books. We need to follow up and teach what we have learned for the benefit of the public. Because what we take for granted, what we learned the first week we stepped into the temple, Dehi nosmin yata dehi komaram jovanam jara, that we're in asmin dehe, we're the soul within the body. That simple knowledge is lacking all over the world, and it can change the face of the planet. Those simple things that we take for granted can change the face of the planet. So this is the highest happiness for the person who receives one of our transcendental literatures, and for the person who gives that transcendental literature. To see someone change their life and adopt the most wonderful process of Krishna Bhakti. Hare Krishna.